The following broadcast is brought to you by Public House Media.
Hey everybody, welcome to Beauties and Headcanons, brought to you by Public House Media. This is Emily, along here with my co-host Erica, and we're here to talk nerdy to you.
Hey everyone! Today's episode we're going to go over two different theories within the Doctor Who universe. One of them is a big one that I really love. I think it's fantastic. It's the 5 stages of grief. And then another one which I thought was pretty fun, we're going to go through the Mary Poppins theory. So let's go through the first one first. There are 5 stages of grief, obviously, and a Reddit user, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Masasuka, I think that's how you say it. I don't know if she or he came up with a theory, but this is where I found it on Reddit, that the rebooted Doctor, so 9, 10, 11, 12, and probably 13 represent the 9 stages of grief, so denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then acceptance.
Or the five stages of grief. Yeah.
Yes, what did I say 4?
I think you said 9.
Oh, 9. No, definitely 5.
But, yeah, 5. Right. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So, yeah, 9, the Doctor, the 9th regeneration, represents denial. So basically their thought would be that he couldn't stop the Great Time War from happening, so he's like really in denial that he couldn't do anything about it. And they kind of go into this when the War Doctor regenerates into the 9th Doctor. I don't know if this is like 100% true, if this is just a theory, but they say that his memory of himself in the previous incarnations, when they saved Gallifrey, was actually wiped from his timeline in order to correct itself. So the Doctor actually believes that he didn't save them, so he's in denial. And I guess Rose, his companion at that time, also represents this theme. She is in denial that the Doctor actually isn't going to leave her ever, and that she'll never be left behind, even though we all know it's probably going to happen. Spoilers.
Right.
Sarah Jane, one of the older companions, warns Rose as well, saying, like, he's going to leave you. And she's like, no, that's never going to happen. Mm-hmm. Of course, we all know, if you watch them, that it does.
Yeah, and I think this makes a lot of sense, actually, going through all the actions of the 9th Doctor, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Everything. I don't know, when I read this theory, I was like, wow, that is dead on.
Right, like, how could it be anything else?
I know, right? So then the next stage would be anger. 10, David Tennant's Doctor, represents anger. He obviously is like more of the feisty. He's angry. Mm-hmm. He fights at things. He's very, he questions himself, saying like, why can't I change things? Why am I not doing this right? Throughout his, I don't know what the word is, throughout his regeneration, I guess, that's like a common theme among his, what's the word? His storyline, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think that really fits him too, because he's more emotional.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like than the other regenerations that we've seen from the revival. I would agree totally with this one too. Yeah.
I think 11 actually is one that I also really agree with. 11 represents bargaining, and he's constantly trying to get out of like his thinking that he let Rory and Amy go, even though we know like that was their timeline that was going to happen. They were going to end up getting stuck somewhere or whatever, and he kind of just fought that and didn't want to accept it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he was always just working around everything and making things work when it shouldn't.
Yeah. You know? He especially with, I can't think of what the episode is, but where River is in the astronaut suit and shoots him, he finagles that. He's like, I'm not dying. I'm going to make this work. I'm going to live. And here's how I'm going to do it. Mm-hmm. He is completely like falling into this bargaining thing and making anything that you wouldn't think work. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So I thought that was
exactly.
Awesome. Yeah. And then obviously...
Was that the Impossible Astronaut or something
like
that?
Yep,
yes,
that's the one, yeah. And then he actually ends up being like the miniaturized dude. I can't think of what those
he was like
guys
the
are
mini
called.
robot inside of
himself, kind of?
Yes,
Like,
something. It was really complicated. But he figured out a way, so...
He did it. He was not about to die.
No, definitely.
Yeah. So then obviously 12, this I feel like is dead on. He represents depression. He is sad. He's angry. There's all this hatred that's weighing on him. He's old. And as you think of like old people, you think of them being like angry old men.
Right. Well, and another thing, like all the last 3 doctors we just talked about were getting like younger and younger and younger as the actors were. But now all of a sudden 12 is a much older actor. Yeah.
And it kind of fits right in with that depression stage grief. Like you're falling into something that you don't want to fall into. And then especially I think it's the newest season, he stays in that one place for a very, very long time, which you don't see a lot of the other doctors do. They're constantly traveling, so.
Yeah. He stays with like a very, I don't know, like he's stuck almost.
Yeah. Yep. He just doesn't want to, I don't know, keep going, but yet he does once he meets Bill, so it's kind of cool.
Right. Yeah.
You can see he's kind of getting out of that, which is awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then, hey, can you explain, there's who Me is? I have to come clean. I have not seen all of the episodes with 12 yet, so...
I haven't finished the most recent one because my DVR deleted itself.
No, bummer.
So I'm still, like, I think 5... I don't know how many episodes I've missed. I've missed quite a few. I was up to date until probably like the 4th episode in, so I don't know how many I've missed. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was just what the theory was saying.
Okay. So there's just maybe somebody who...
But before he met Bill, he was kind of in this depression from losing...
Clara,
yep.
Yeah.
Clara. I said that wrong.
It's okay.
So he was a little bit depressed, and then he met... what's his name? The robot. Oh my goodness, it's Bill's the girl, and then Nardolph. What's his name?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna Google it real quick.
Okay. But yeah, so he met them, and was that a part where he was like getting out of it a little bit, out of the depressed feeling?
Yeah, then they start traveling more often because Bill kind of brings that life to him.
Okay. So she kind of helps with that.
Yeah. And then obviously we don't know who the 13th Doctor is going to be. Well, we know who she's going to be, but we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know where that's going to go. Exactly. Yeah. We should assume that she will represent acceptance, which I feel like, based on who they chose to be the 13th Doctor, I feel like it's already falling into that. Like, they're accepting that, like, she's not who she always thought she was, or he, I guess, because it was male until now. But, I don't know, I think that was kind of cool that they decided to go that route. And hopefully it'll be a little more peppy.
Yeah, I hope so. I have high hopes for her. I really think, I hope she's going to do well.
Oh, yeah, me too. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm a little disappointed that people were upset when they casted a woman to play the Doctor, but I'm super pumped.
Yeah, I feel like there were a lot of mixed feelings about that, and maybe we can talk about that another episode, but, I mean, if she's going to fit into acceptance, I think she's going to do a really nice job with that.
Yeah, I think that would be perfect. It just fits so well within this theory. Mm-hmm. As long as she falls into that acceptance, which I think it will, but... Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I found this on Reddit from Masasuka, so I cannot claim credit for this awesome theory, but I am totally a believer. I think this is totally where it's going.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Just crossing my fingers with the new Doctor that she's acceptance.
Yeah, I hope so too. Cool.
And to go back, that his other companion's name is Nardal.
Nardal, okay, so that's the robot one? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's he's not really human, but
kind of thing? Okay.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites for sure.
Cool. That's cool. Maybe I'll check him out. I haven't seen those yet, though.
You need to get going. They're fantastic. Yeah.
For some reason, I just kind of got... Maybe it's because he's representing depression. I don't know, but I kind of just got bummed out with... I got bummed out with Peter Capaldi, and I don't know if it was just... I didn't pay close enough attention to the episodes or what, but I maybe should check those out again. So
yeah, I was a little bit in denial when they first announced him. I was like, oh, it's some old guy. Like, what? Yeah. Make the show so boring, but he's fantastic. He's so good.
Yeah, he does a really good job from what I've seen. It's just I don't know, I fell off the bandwagon for a little bit while I was going through his season. So I'll hop back in at least to see Nardal. Is that what his name is?
Yeah.
Okay, I said it right.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's awesome. He's like his conscience almost, like saying like, dude, this is a bad idea. It's like, are you really sure this is a good idea? Yeah, he's great.
Cool. Yeah, and I think that's a really great theory too, because going through the 5 stages of grief is exactly what the Doctor needed to do after the Time War happened, especially now knowing what he thinks happened.
Yeah, so, it's super interesting.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, let's get talking about this other theory here, because it combines 2 things that I really, really love. Mary Poppins, which I love. I watched that movie so many times growing up.
Me too. It was so great.
All the songs, too. I always have to sing along to them. And I also love Doctor Who, too. And it's kind of cool to think about those 2, like, being combined.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
So the theory goes like this, that Mary Poppins could be a Time Lord, or maybe even a future regeneration of the Doctor, which is kind of crazy to think about. So let's talk about what some of the pros are that would support this theory, and maybe we'll talk about some cons that would maybe negate what this theory is as well. All right, so let's start off with Mary Poppins and her... I think probably the most obvious one is her carpet bag, because when she's pulling it out when she first gets to the Banks' house, she just pulls stuff out and there's like impossibly large amount of space. She's pulling out this like floor lamp from there. She pulls out like, you know, everything that you could possibly imagine except for the kitchen sink that's in there. So,
pretty much, yeah.
It's obviously bigger on the inside, which is very obviously some Gallifreyan technology. And her umbrella too, which she has like a little mini conversation with. It's one end is like a parrot head, so it's kind of like it's alive, but it's also something she like brings with her everywhere. So it's, you know, how she gets transported around. You know, you see her when she's arriving, she's holding her umbrella, and she's, you know, the only thing that isn't getting affected by this terrible wind. So that could be like her TARDIS.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know, it's kind of inconspicuous too, because, you know, that's the shielding technology where the TARDIS has to be blended in some way, and so it looks like an umbrella. Okay, and it does have its own little personality, so they can kind of interact that way. Mm-hmm. So I like those 2 things. And then another thing going through, just thinking about things in Mary Poppins itself, she's really easy to make friends with. She's such a cheerful person, and just, you know, she just says hi to people. She has an answer for everything, and she knows somebody in the community already. Bert knew her from before, so we're kind of wondering, like, how does she know Bert? And, you know, was he maybe a companion of hers in the past?
Probably.
And now she's got some new companions. I mean, it's totally possible. If she was a Time Lord, maybe or a Time Lady, maybe? Would she be a Time Lady? I guess.
Probably, yeah, Time Lady.
Yeah. Bert might have been her companion, maybe when he was younger. Although maybe she wouldn't recognize him now that he's...
now he's older, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. And how he knows, like, with a snap of her fingers, she can take you to worlds you haven't dreamed of. It sounds a little bit like Time Lord stuff there.
Yeah, like you get into the TARDIS and suddenly you're in, like, a different time on a different planet.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's just what you do. And then they jumped into those, like, chalk drawings in the park, and suddenly they were, like, dancing with penguins in cartoon land. I don't know, maybe that's something that was a Time Lord thing. Yeah. I think that was fun. So that's another side of it. I really like the Bert concept, that he was a former companion of hers.
I just think especially because he refers to him when he was younger, like, and how she helped him, or I guess may have helped him. So Thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly. Also, she loves her hats, and so do
I mean,
the
so
most
11.
Right, 11 loves his hats. So
Yeah.
yeah. She feels compelled to help others without asking for anything in return, which is basically every Time Lord ever that we've interacted with. Like, they're just always there at the right time to come and help in any way that they need to. And in this moment, the Banks family needs a nanny, and so she comes right at the time they need a nanny and straightens the two kids out, which is really cool to see, because in the beginning of the movie, those kids were awful. Like, they were
I know, they were
around.
so bad.
Oh my goodness. I was like, can I please fix it? Because, like, I'm a mom, so I have kids of my own, and I'm like, I know how to deal with that type of child behavior, but, I mean, Mary Poppins does she does it way faster than I would have done, and with a lot
If I was a
less,
child,
like...
I wouldn't want to take that medicine for sure.
I know, right? I mean, a spoonful of sugar helps them.
I don't care if there's sugar in it. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, it looked good, though, because, like, and it was a different color for each kid. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That was
She's
really
got
cool.
some sort of technology up her sleeve.
Yeah.
Or in her carpet
how
bag.
did she make that medicine work? Like, it was exactly what the kid needed at the time.
I know.
It was amazing.
She's another level of Time Lord for sure.
Yeah, she's got to be something really special. And she does kind of have a little, like, ego going on, because she knows what she's capable of.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And she says she was practically perfect in every way. And I was brilliant, is what she also says as well. So, I mean, that's trademark Time Lord right there, if you ask me.
Yes.
Yeah. And I already mentioned this, but, like, they can literally make friends wherever they go. And she, like, paraded a whole bunch of dirty chimney sweeps throughout the entire Banks' house, and yet nobody got mad at her about it.
Mm-hmm.
They were, they're all these dirty, dusty guys with their sweep costumes and all this, like, soot all over the house, and nobody cared. And they were just fine. Oh, that's just Mary Poppins. She's just doing her thing. Right?
It's just
I feel
amazing
like
to
that's
think
something
about. Like,
Time
what?
Lords do too. Like, other Time Lords, they go through, like, London or wherever, and there's some, like, an alien making a huge mess, and everybody's like, oh, but the doctor saved the day, so it's fine.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see how she helped out on other planets, though. Because, like, I know the doctor always goes to all these other planets, and he's always like, humans first, like, Earthlings first. That's what I feel like he always does. But then he helps out other people, too. So I wonder if Mary Poppins would be this, like, the same way at other planets, or if he's like, or if she would be more up for saving everyone, like, no deaths, like one of the other doctors would say, like, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that is interesting. I wonder about that, too. That's a good question. So that's basically the evidence that I have for her being a Time Lord, or maybe even in a regeneration of the Doctor. But let's see what I have against that. So, personally, I don't think she's an actual regeneration of the Doctor.
Yeah, I don't either.
Because, I mean, her umbrella could be the sonic screwdriver, maybe, but she doesn't use it the way the Doctor does in what we've seen in Doctor Who. So I don't think that it's actually the Doctor, because he doesn't go anywhere, or she, I guess. The Doctor doesn't go anywhere without the sonic screwdriver.
Or sonic sunglasses.
Or sonic sunglasses. Right. So I don't know that would be... I don't know that this would be actually the Doctor.
I don't think it could be.
Yeah. Could possibly be another Time Lord. I wouldn't say that she's the Master necessarily, unless it's maybe a nicer version of the Master. But it could definitely be somebody else as a Time Lord. And,
yeah, that's true. Another one that travels around just like he does.
And
or
like
she,
you were just
the
saying,
Doctor.
I think it would be interesting to see what she does and who else she interacts with and who else she helps. Because she obviously did help humans, but maybe she helped somebody else on another planet. So
or in a different way, or who knows? There could be a whole other side that we don't even know.
Yeah, no, exactly. We only saw
She could be like
adventure.
an evil Gallifreyan, and it just really wants to help out the Earthlings. We don't know.
Maybe. I have no idea. Yeah, this is a whole big can of worms.
I know, right?
Yeah. Another thing is she sings a lot more than other Time Lords. Like, she's got a song for everything.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a different side to the Doctor I'd want to see.
I really enjoy that, but I mean, no other Time Lords we've seen have a lot of songs for every moment of their lives. So maybe
I don't think any of them have sang anything, have they?
Maybe. Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? Maybe she's the nanny. That's her name as a.
She's
Time Lord.
she's not the doctor. She's the nanny.
She's the nanny.
No, that's a good one. Yeah.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it.
Well,
but
sticking
cool.
with that.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I don't think she is the doctor or a future regeneration of the doctor or anything like that. But
right, I would
definitely
have to agree
something
there.
Time Lord related or Gallifreyan related.
I don't know. Too bad we don't have Walt Disney around to actually ask him. But
I know.
yeah. Side note: Did you ever hear the how Julie Andrews got cast as Mary Poppins?
I don't think so.
No, it's actually a really cool story. So this is completely off of the Doctor Who tangent, but I love this story because it's really cool. So Walt Disney saw Mary Poppins in an onstage show that she was in New York. And
Wait, you mean Julie Andrews?
Or Julie Andrews, yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he already had, like, Mary Poppins in the works, but he did not have somebody to play her. And after he saw Julie Andrews do her role, he got in touch with her after the show he saw. And he said, hey, I have something that I think you would be amazing for. Would you be game for shooting a musical with me? And she's like, I totally would love to, but I'm pregnant right now, so I can't. And this is the amazing part. So Walt Disney was like, that's okay. We'll wait until after you have your baby.
What? Wow,
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
cool.
So they waited
She was
until
perfect
she
for the
had
part.
baby. I know. And she was perfect. Absolutely perfect. And Walt Disney
Yeah.
knew that. Like, I'm so amazed that, like, that would totally not happen nowadays, really, you know?
Oh, yeah, no.
Like,
They
if
would just
find
cover it up or
somebody-
hire someone else.
No, exactly. I mean, Wonder Woman was pregnant, right?
Yeah, she was. And they did a lot of, like,
Yeah.
CGI and, like, blocking her stomach and
Yeah, but
that sort of
still,
stuff
like,
when they
and
filmed it.
I haven't seen it, but I really want to now that I know she was pregnant during the filming. Like, that's really cool.
I didn't know until after I saw it, but I want to go back and, like, watch it and, like, see if I can notice anything. But I heard, they did a really great job, and I didn't notice anything, so I assume I wouldn't see anything.
Yeah. But that's super cool, though, that, like, Walt Disney was like, you are the only person I want playing this role, so you are the only person that I will wait for. Like,
yeah.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
That's
and they
high
picked
quality.
a great actress, so.
Oh, my goodness, they did. She was perfect, so.
Yeah,
practically perfect
definitely.
in every way.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, what do you think? Do we like one of these theories more than the other, or?
I like both of them. I think the stages of grief is a little more easier to apply.
Yeah.
I think Mary Poppins one, like, could be, but it's so out there that you don't really know unless they were to have a Mary Poppins episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Hint,
Yeah.
maybe they should.
I think that would be awesome. I think the 5 stages of grief really helps us understand the Doctor more. Like, especially as the revival progresses, it really helps us understand what he's going through. Because a lot of times what he does in the different regenerations, I'm like, why in the world would he do that? Like, that, it's a lot of it just didn't make sense. And now that I'm thinking about it again with the 5 stages of grief, it makes a lot more sense.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Some of the actions they take, you're just like, but why would you do that? But when you think about it in the sense of this 5 stages of grief, it is so much easier to understand.
Right. Yeah, it makes so much more sense with that as the backdrop of it. It
absolutely
totally makes more sense now.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, it makes me think maybe, like, was this their idea all along? Is this just a theme that they just happened upon after, like, the 12th Doctor? They were like, oh, it kind of fits into this.
I don't know. We'd have to ask, who would we ask about that? Because there's been so many different writers. It's not just a writer thing.
Moffat, I never know how to say his name. He is one of those writers that plans things from the very get-go, so I would not be surprised if he had it all planned out ahead of time and worked it all in there somehow.
Maybe he could be, you know? Cause
he is planned. He has everything planned out from the very beginning, so that wouldn't surprise me. Mm-hmm. But all the other writers, he have to keep them in line, so who knows?
Yeah, so I feel like the 5 stages of grief is one that we can actually try and prove for sure, but the Mary Poppins one, unless they do an episode about that, like, that's kind of like a headcanon that I like to keep in my I like to keep in
they did like Robin Hood and like some of those other ones you wouldn't think of that were from fairy tales, so maybe I can hope, right?
Right, exactly. So we can hope. We can spread the word. Share the word that they should do an episode.
Is that like a petition?
Yeah, exactly. Let's get it going. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's all we've got on these. So thanks for getting nerdy with us today. Make sure to also check out our Facebook page, Beauties and with the and sign, not the word and, Headcanons, and Headcanons has one N at the beginning and one N toward the end, or one N toward the end, so it's Head, Canons. So make sure you spell it right. You'll be able to find us. And subscribe to us on Spreaker and on iTunes. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and a huge thank you to Public House Media for making this show possible. Check them out on Facebook or on their website, www.thephmedia.com.